The former Citizens Coalition for Change leader, that is Nelson Chamisa, who decided to dump the party, citing that it was contaminated, has said something. In fact, he has been saying something for the past few days. He can jump one or so days, and he is commenting on what is currently ongoing in Zimbabwe, but obviously not being direct, and continually to speak hope. I think Zimbabwe is at a point where people are losing hope. They see that Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa is taking the country nowhere, and he wants to force himself into leading the people of Zimbabwe. This time around, without even conducting fraudulent elections. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So Nelson Chamisa has written on his X account, repeating the words of the former deputy president in Zimbabwe, and also the former president of ZAPU, whereby he said the young people will save Zimbabwe. And Nelson Chamisa repeating these words today on his X about an hour ago. He said the young will save Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe's youths are a giant force, energetic, creative, resilient, and determined to build a new great Zimbabwe. And he says, when young people lead with vision and unity, change becomes not just possible, but inevitable. May the sun rise on a stronger, more prosperous, great Zimbabwe. Now, before I comment, I say anything, I just want to take maybe 3 or so people commented after he said something. Someone says the young will save Zimbabwe. Yes, the youth are powerful, but let's not rewrite the foundations of the nation overnight. Someone says Zimbabwe was built through blood, sweat, and sacrifice, not through a trending Facebook post or a poetic tweet. I don't know what he's saying there. Someone says the old wine has failed us. We need new wine. A new wine has to be poured into wineskins. The winds of change will rise. Someone says, agree indeed, yes, Comrade President Nelson Chamisa. We have a mandate and an obligation to defend our nation from thugs and to define our future the good way. Victory is certain. And someone says, President, as a young Zimbabwean, I feel this. We are ready to step up, innovate, and build the future we deserve. The time for our energy and ideas is now. Someone says, we are determined, Mr. President, until victory. Someone says, the winds of change are upon us. Someone says, Mr. Chamisa, you keep on giving unemployed youth hope, no results. Why can't you just lay low and work on your strategies without giving false hope to the people? Wes pakuzoti God is in it. Zwakutoita kunge mwari vacho havamo muchidhiri chenyu ichi mukudrowa vanhu miswai. Someone says there is nothing that is called a new great Zimbabwe. It's a facade. Let's start by speaking truth to power. This will remain an illusion. Of course, young people are the future leaders. They are saving and saving Zimbabwe, and saving Zimbabwe, and will continue playing their part. Someone says the same youth that was up to debate submission, Lobola prizes for virgins, and the kana never kazi on the timeline. I wouldn't hold my breath. Bet on these young people if I was a betting man. So these are the responses to Nelson Chamisa. I think one thing we cannot take from Nelson Chamisa is that he's a charismatic leader. He speaks, and a lot of people listen to what he is speaking. But I think the situation at the moment requires, apart from speaking, strategies. Of course, young people will save Zimbabwe, but they have to be guided by a visionary leader to do so. And we know exact. I don't need to repeat the words or the strategies that are needed for ZANU-PF to be dismantled. At this point in time, it cannot and will never be elections because they have contaminated the issue of elections. Now they see that it's difficult to run elections. And what Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa is doing at the moment is to totally eradicate elections altogether, and he is doing so using money, using state institutions. Now, do we have politicians in Zimbabwe with balls enough to actually see that the current demands requires extra thinking, extra strategies, almost similar to what brave young men and women around 1960 had to actually stand up against the Ian Smith regime. Unfortunately, their dreams were stolen away by individuals like Mnangagwa and Robert Gabriel Mugabe. But the majority of them, they wanted to fight for a better country, better nation, better livelihoods, of which the struggle was hijacked. And at this moment, we need almost a similar but in terms of strategy, with a different strategy to make sure that when this is fought and dismantled, I'm referring to this regime, is fought and dismantled, indeed there shall be a desired change, not what we are seeing. We don't want a removal of Robert Gabriel Mugabe and be replaced with another monster who would be more problematic. Or look at how Mnangagwa is very good. I mean, this guy, now, he hasn't even finished his second term. He is, I think this will be third year. Today, I mean, this is 2025. 2023, he was voted in 2023. 2024, he wants to extend his term of office. 2025, he is still speaking about this. 2026, he will be still speaking about this. 2027, repeating the same nonsense. Look at how greedy he is. And he is asking for time. While he has time, he still has time. And he is very, very old. I don't think that man can listen to me speaking for 8 minutes without sleeping. Not because I'm saying something boring, but because the guy has diminished, apart from the fact that he is dull. He is too old. The man is very, very old. I think he is dull and unpresidential material. We have seen he has made a lot of mistakes that if we were in a democratic country, he could have been long recalled. But he is being kept because he is not leading through democracy, but he is actually using force to actually lead the people of Zimbabwe. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the